welcome back to episode 68 of the Purple Rain podcast with your boy Sutton Def, simply AS10. Oh wait, who is that below us? Just tell them. Who is that?
Well, I'm glad you said below y'all because I certainly am, and that's Ingravenvids. Team keep it clean. So it's nice when the Rain Gang and team keep it clean. We can come together.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate y'all.
Love to see it, man. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for coming on.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely, man. We appreciate you so much. We know this was definitely last minute too, but we appreciate you nonetheless. There's a huge elephant in the room tonight, of course, that we'll get to. And everybody in the chat, I'm sure, is getting ready to want to talk about that. But before we start talking anything Ravens related, let's just see who is in the chat here tonight. Let's see. We got our guy Mod K-Dog in here. It says, yo, what's good, Rain Gang family? Happy Monday to my guys Simply AS10 and Sutton Def. What's good, K-Dog? Purple Rain Pioneer. You guys already know the deal with K-Dog, man. Daquan Jones in the house. What's up, gang? What's up, Daquan? Night Gang Douglas, YouTube. What's up, Rain Gang? Darius, the official. Prayers for JK, man. Of course, we're going to get to that. Prayers for JK. Chris Reed, Rain Gang. What's good? Hoodie Ramey in the house. Mod Ramey in the house says, yo, what's good, Ramey? How you doing, man? We appreciate you for coming through. Click one, Zach George, X Lee, one session. We see all you guys. 2K crossover, Spencer the Realist. You guys are going crazy tonight. You guys must have something to talk about. Y'all must have something on y'all chests. We're going to get to it. We're going to get to it all tonight, man. We appreciate you guys for coming through to episode 68 of the Purple Rain podcast. Just real quick, some housekeeping things. Make sure you go ahead and hit that like button on the video. I almost said hit the like video again, Alex. You see, I call myself. I've been saying that the past couple episodes, Ingraven. Trust me, it's been bad. But yeah, make sure you go ahead and follow us on Twitter or Instagram as well. This guy up here, Simply AS10. You can find him on Twitter at Simply AS10prod and on Instagram at Simply AS10.prod. You find me on Twitter or Instagram at Sutton Def. And as you guys already know, man, you guys can see his @handle down there at Ingravenvids, any and everywhere. Look him up. Google him. Google him.
Don't Google him. Don't do that, man.
Let's see. We got a guy, Boz, in the house. Says, yo, Rain Gang. What's up, Boz? Mod Boz in the house. We appreciate all the mods in the house tonight. Dan Wolf in the house. What's up, Ingraven? Alex Sutton. It's time for the regular season. Duvernay Dan in the house. Appreciate you for joining the stream. Also, if you listen to this podcast after the fact and you're part of the hashtag replay gang, big shout out to you. Make sure you leave a hashtag replay gang in the comments because we love to see that. We love to see it. Also, we are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, all that good stuff. So make sure you check us out on there as well. And the season's about to get started, so it's about to be a whole lot of content coming. Oh yeah. A whole lot. So make sure you guys are ready. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get right into the topic at hand tonight, the elephant in the room, guys. Obviously, J.K. Dobbins going down with a season-ending injury, a torn ACL, and possible other damage to other ligaments in the leg as well, which is terrible. You don't love. You hate to hear that. You hate to hear that. But like our guy Darius, the official, said at the beginning of the show, prayers out for JK first and foremost. Prayers for him, his family. Everyone's worried about him. Everyone who's close to him is worried about him. Us as Ravens fans, you can only imagine if we're worried about him. People who don't know him personally, his family members, people who are close to him, they probably feel it a lot differently. So prayers up for JK, man. But I want to get you guys' initial reactions, and then I'm going to kind of pose the question on what the Ravens are going to do going forward. So, Ingraven, I want to start with you here. What was your initial reaction to hearing this news of J.K. Dobbins? What was like your knee-jerk reaction?
It sucks, but the show must go on. And I think with J.K. Dobbins, the Ravens, they are obviously a lot better with J.K. Dobbins than without. But this is a blow that they can withstand, and they'll be fine moving forward. With the run game, any running back that's back there next to Lamar Jackson, that boosts their stock. It boosts their value up like crazy because defenses got to worry about Lamar so much, and they got to worry about the running back too. So the dudes that we got, Gus, obviously, he's been a starter before, got the experience. He's going to eat. Tyson Williams, who's pretty much a lock. John Harbaugh pretty much confirmed that he's a lock to make the roster, even though this is something that we all already knew. He's going to do his thing too. Now, for that third running back spot, that's where it gets a little bit tricky. But, I'm talking too much. Knee-jerk reaction, it sucks, but they can still get it done. All right, I'm done.
Okay, yeah. Alex, what about you?
Oh boy. Is it bad when he went down? Like, you kind of know, you just know. when it's J.K. Dobbins, you just know he's going to get up if he's fine. And can we just talk about this Washington football field? It's cursed. I put a tweet out about it. It's actually cursed. Please fix your field, Washington. But yeah, I have already seen, fans wanting to sign Gurley, signing Le'Veon. As much as that can be cool and all, I think we're cool with what we have. I mean, just thinking back, I think Tyson Williams, there's no film on him. These defensive coordinators don't know what he really can do in a real game situation. Let's run with him and Gus. I'm cool with it. Then for the third, I mean, we'll get in that later, but it's between Justice and McCrary. But we can talk about that later. But Sutton, what do you think?
Man, knee-jerk reaction. I actually wasn't even watching the game at the time that it happened. I just got the notification to my phone, which was kind of even worse. It completely took me off guard. And, obviously my knee-jerk reaction was just like, okay, this is going to make our stock plummet a whole lot. J.K. Dobbins was supposed to be one of the key pieces to making this offense go in the 2021 season for the Ravens. And without him, it definitely is going to be tougher because I know a lot of the game plan was based around J.K. Dobbins and what he can do, not only running the ball, but of course, I know he was working on pass catching abilities as well. So like I said, knee-jerk reaction, I was very, very disappointed, just as every other Ravens fan was as well. But, like Ingraven said, man, the show must go on and it's next man up. And I have all the faith and confidence in the world in our next man up. So that can go ahead and segue us into this question that we're going to pose here. What is next for the Ravens? Obviously, Gus Edwards is going to be the running back one now. But how do we really feel about Gus Edwards really taking the throne as a running back one over J.K. Dobbins this year, guys?
I mean, they really don't have any choice but to, since JK is out now. But with Gus, this is somebody who everybody, who whether a Ravens fan or not, you should have confidence in Gus Edwards. I think his rookie year, there was that crazy stat where he didn't get tackled for a loss. Well, he only got tackled for like one loss out of all the carries that he got. Gus Edwards is somebody who's been extremely successful in a limited amount of carries for the Ravens. And me personally, I think a lot of times that they held Gus his carries back due to financial reasons. But that's a whole nother subject. But now Gus, they paid him now. Well, they gave him a contract. He didn't get paid, but they got him wrapped up contract-wise. So now they can feel free to really use Gus Edwards. And I mean, they ain't got no choice since J.K. Dobbins is out. You talked about running back one and running back two being Tyson Williams, but for that third spot, it's an unknown right now. Now, Harbaugh today, he said that they're confident in the guys that they got already. They're comfortable with the guys that they got already, but that's something that we've heard before. Remember Eric DeCosta when he said, "Oh yeah, we love our wide receivers. It's disrespectful that y'all would talk about our wide receivers like that." Yeah. So I wouldn't really pay too much attention to that.
Yeah.
Then for the Gus Edwards, I mean, I've been saying it. I think we've kind of disrespected him and underutilized him, underused him in all aspects. I mean, the guy averages 5 yards a carry. And even, I don't want to go back to, a playoff game, but we talked about in 2019. What if he got more carries? What if he got more carries against the Bills? The first series, he had 2 back-to-back runs for first downs. Now we didn't see him again in the fourth quarter. If we can get a steady dosage of Gus, I don't know what this offense can do. I mean, in 2018, when he was the running back one, it was nasty. In 2021, when he's the running back one, I'm expecting even nastier.
A steady dose of Gus. It's interesting you say that because, and you also said he averages 5 yards a carry for his career. It's actually 5.2, I believe, which is insane, which means every 2 times he touches the football, he's getting a first down. So, listen, man, if we get a healthy dose of Gus Edwards, maybe we'll realize that this is what we needed all along. And Gus Edwards, he's not just that bruising running back who, you're going to run him on the inside zones, running behind the left and right guards all day long. He can actually catch passes, too. We saw that last season. He also had what was that one against the Giants, I think? He went for like 34 yards or something like that.
Caught it, shook somebody off, trucked somebody.
Yards after contact. Like, the guy has it all. And honestly, of course, this whole J.K. Dobbins situation, it sucks. But the silver lining to it is that we are going to see the true potential of Gus Edwards, because the truth is we probably would have never gotten to see it with J.K. Dobbins as running back one, because we'd have been using him so heavily. So, Gus Edwards stepping into that RB1 spot. I mean, in a lot of ways, he deserves it. He's worked very hard. He stayed down. He stayed patient, that sort of thing. And every time he's come into the game, he's always done something positive. Hence why, Ingraven brought up that stat where he does not lose yardage. So I think that we would definitely benefit from having him as our running back one, and we're definitely in good hands. So we have our first Super Chat donation coming from Spencer the Realist tonight. Thank you so much, man, for joining the stream and for donating to the show. We appreciate you. Says, honestly, I think the season will hinge on how much more passing they can accomplish in games and Lamar's ability to pass better to wide receivers. If that happens, we are beyond okay. Not worried about JK. Thank you so much for your donation, Spencer.
Thank you, Spencer. And it's funny because you actually texted me yesterday. I don't remember exactly what you said because I don't know if there's any explicatives in there, but it basically was like, oh, dang, like JK is gone. And I think I said to you, I was like, this passing game better step up now. This is what I think we prepared the whole offseason for. Sucks this had to happen, but this passing game better be above average now. Before the season, I said if our run game is elite and we have an average passing game, we can get to the AFC Championship. Now it has to be above average. We've been working for this the whole offseason. Let's see it.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, that's definitely true because that's been one of the biggest things holding the Ravens back is just having an average to even below average passing game. And I think that a big part of it too is just the diversity in the passing game because they definitely have efficiency, and efficiency is more important than yards and whatnot. But now this year, diversity is that much more important, and being able to get different guys in positions to have them succeed and being able to use different guys in different situations. And come playoff time, everything not just going through number 5 with Hollywood, but it has to go through Duvernay. We obviously got Sammy Watkins now, and Rashad Bateman, he'll be back too, and Prochet. So they just got to get everybody involved and use everybody to their strengths, man, to really make this passing game evolve.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, definitely agree with that. I mean, the passing game is something that's going to be, relied on heavily with this injury of J.K. Dobbins. And I think that's why it definitely puts more pressure on Lamar Jackson. But I also think it puts a lot of pressure on Greg Roman, too. And this is what I'm afraid of, guys. I'm afraid of that, this season can go either one of two ways when it comes to like our offense and running the football. We can either use Gus Edwards as our legitimate RB1, just like we were getting ready to do with J.K. Dobbins this season, or Greg Roman can go back to relying heavily upon Lamar Jackson's legs, and we go back to that. And, that could be a whole different thing. That's what I don't want to happen. That's what I'm afraid of. You guys agree?
A lot of times we did see throughout really the past couple of years, not even just last year, but where Greg Roman, since Lamar Jackson is Superman, then it seems as Greg Roman sometimes will look for Lamar Jackson to almost save him and bail him out and just make something crazy happen. But this was looking like it was going to be the year, or we were hoping that. I can't even say it was looking like it, but we were hoping that this was going to be the year where Lamar may have not necessarily run less, but have less designed runs. Because we know Lamar, the most dangerous runs for him is when it's a passing play. He's looking, ain't nobody open. We done heard that story too many times, but he's looking, ain't nobody open. And then he's like, you know what? I'm going to just take off. And then he always makes something crazy happen. But we want that to be more of the case rather than some of these design plays for Lamar. Not to take away the designs for Lamar now, because you want to use his ability to his ability, but just less of it and more relying on the running backs too.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, I think Roman will probably go back. I mean, it hasn't failed him yet with, Lamar running it. But like I said, I want to see what Gus can do because Gus is a 1,000-yard rusher in any other offense beside the Ravens. 100%, I think that. I think if Tyson Williams is our number 2, he'll get 500 to 600 yards. I'm confident on that. With this offense and with this scheme, I would bet money on it.
I agree.
So let's see what the Rain Gang is saying in here. We do have another super chat donation coming in from Jabari Cruz Ellis. Thank you so much, Jabari. Appreciate you. Says, what's up, guys? Ingraven/Purple Rain Gang collab. Also, Gus the Bus 1,000-yard season incoming. Book it.
I'm there with you.
Yeah.
I'm there.
I like it. I like that. I definitely think he can get 1,000. What do you have, like 700, 7 something last season?
Yeah, I think so. Something around like that.
Something like that.
I think 600 to 700 in 2019 too when Ingram was here. So as a number 2, putting up those type of numbers.
Yeah. Really good. So let's see here. Got a guy Taquan Christian in the house. Yo, what's up, Ingraven? Team, keep it clean. Alex Sutton and Rain Gang. How you doing, Taquan? We appreciate you for joining the stream.
What's going on, man?
Let's see. We got our King in the house. Says Prochet starting week 1. Prochet looking good. Had that touchdown catch.
And the stare down.
We talked about Tyler.
Can he please start just for that? He deserves a starting spot. The catch, the stare down, everything.
Right. Let's see. We have our guys from TTB Ravens Media. Big shout out to those guys over there. Says, what do you guys think about? Yeah, what do you guys think about possibly adding Duke Johnson as a pass catching running back option?
Okay.
I'm cool with Justice Hill, to be honest, if we have a pass catcher, because he can play special teams too. He's a really good gunner, and just the money too. I'm not too sure. It'll probably be very small, but I'll keep Justice Hill. That's just
depending on with McCrary. If he doesn't make it, I wouldn't mind a Duke Johnson because he is a really, really good pass catcher. He's somebody that I remember with the Browns, they used to line him up a lot in the slot and whatnot. So they treated him like he was a wide receiver. He can play special teams too, as far as returning. But Duke Johnson, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind them adding him. He's still pretty young too, but he's been really good, and he's from Miami, so there's a little bias there too.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I think we're good with our backfield, honestly. I know a lot of people are talking about maybe bringing in like Todd Gurley, but I think at this point, I think we can rock out with what we've got. If we need to sign somebody down the line and these guys aren't really stepping up, like Gus and Tyson Williams aren't doing it for us, then so be it. But for now, I think we're good. I believe in Gus. And Gus, we trust. We're all aboard the Gus bus for sure. Let's see. Our guy Hoodie Ramey chimes in and says, man, sounds like Todd Gurley's knees are shot and it hurts my heart. I read something about Todd Gurley the other day. Somebody was saying that, like, he'll never get back to the where he was before with the Rams, in that season. And because of injuries and stuff like that, and that is sad, that is unfortunate. But that's one of the reasons why I was never really a huge fan of him coming to Baltimore. I know he's from Baltimore and like the stars were aligning and everything like that. And at the time, it sounded like a good idea. It was a couple months ago when he originally bought him in, but I'm not too much of a fan of bringing in Todd Gurley, man. No more injury prone, guys. That's just me though.
I still am.
No,
for obvious reasons.
I feel you. I mean, with Todd Gurley, like right now, he's not a need, but it would be nice. And especially for the Ravens, because they don't tend to go with the young players, especially at certain positions. They don't tend to want to put such a heavy workload on the young players.
Right.
So I could see them. I don't think it'll be Todd Gurley. I could still see them bringing in a veteran running back though, because you don't want to think of it like this, but you got to prepare for it like this. What if something happened to Gus, and then it'd be like, oh, okay. Tyson would have more on his plate at that point, but Ravens wouldn't want that. So and again, back like my guy Ramey said in the comments earlier, he said those press conferences be a lot of smoke and mirrors. So I do think the Ravens are definitely looking for somebody to add. I wouldn't mind rolling with what we got, but I think the Ravens are certainly looking to add another running back.
So what are we thinking for carries for Gus Edwards on average? Like over or under like 15 carries a game?
I hope over.
He was getting that sometimes even as a backup, depending how the game was going.
Got you. Our guy Team Ramey here says, give me 20 carries a game for Gus Edwards.
Here's my only worry, because look at Todd Gurley. I know he has the arthritis, but the Rams, that's all they had on their offense for a while, and they overused him. That's why running backs in this league have such a short career span. Look at Ezekiel Elliott now. I mean, I'm not going to say he's declining, but he's not the same person he was before. I don't want that to be Gus. That's why I wouldn't mind a vet coming in, taking some carries away, because Gus can be a starting running back for 4 or 5 years. But if we have somebody behind him, let's just keep on getting more out of him. That's my only worry, that wear and tear.
Yeah. Let's see what else we have here from the Rain Gang. Let's see. Our guy Hoodie Ramey chimes in again, says, just to be real, that inexperience in the backfield, excluding Gus Edwards, has me concerned, but I got faith. Yeah, man. I don't know. Gus Edwards, from what we've seen from him, I think that he has all the potential in the world to like be a certified true running back one. And the thing that really solidifies it for me is what we talked about before, and just him being able to be a pass catcher as well. And he proved that last year. For his entire career, he's hauled in 70% of the passes that have come his way, which is pretty good for running back, So I think that going into this season, as long as Giro utilizes him correctly and Lamar and Gus can start to gain chemistry, that sort of thing, we'll be fine. Like our guy Raimi says, I have faith.
Is your dog on the Gus bus too?
My dog is definitely on the Gus bus. I know you guys can probably hear him in the background.
Nah, he's on the Gus bus. He's making it known. I love it.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to my dog. Let's see what else we have here. Raimi says about Tyson Williams. He said, I am on the Tyson Williams train, but the dude was doing it against preseason competition, not doubting his ability, but it's a point of concern. What do you guys like about Tyson Williams the most?
Now, one thing real quick about Raimi's comment, he was doing it against like backups and whatnot in preseason competition, but he was also doing it with backups in preseason offensive line. So that could go both for and against him. So imagine him. And then another thing too, he wasn't doing it next to Lamar. Like we were talking about earlier, Lamar creates that pressure for opposing defenses. And he makes it that much tougher for defenses to be checking for those running backs. So yeah, he was going against preseason competition, but he had preseason help on his side as well. So him playing with starters, better wide receivers, obviously better offensive line, and even better quarterback, that could go in his favor.
To your question, what I love about Tyson Williams, his pass blocking. And that's been very, very poor from the Ravens running backs that we've seen, what J.K. Dobbins did against the Bills and just in prior years. That right there, I love. He'll take the hit, but that rusher is not getting to the quarterback. I love that about him. So I think he earned his way on the team. I'm happy that he has gotten this chance because he deserved it. So let's just hope that he can get to playing time. Yeah. I'll be happy with it.
Let's see. Our guy Samuel L. Jackson chimes in and says the main thing that we need to be concerned about with this the O-line. The O-line.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
It was looking good before JK got hurt. I'll be honest. It was looking pretty good. And then he got hurt and it just went downhill.
It was a short sample size. But yeah, when they got the pressure on Lamar, I think what they got to him like twice, right? Because I know he got sacked once, but I know they definitely got pressure on another play too.
Sacked the play after JK got hurt.
But it's Samuel, it is definitely a big concern, man, moving forward. Especially just the unknown right now. And the biggest unknown right now, I think, is the left guard position. I do think right now that Ben Powers has the edge, but it's looking like Ben Cleveland soon enough that he's going to be the Ben that ends up taking over.
Yeah. I mean, and that guard position is definitely going to be more important than ever this season because I think, as we know, Gus he's more of a bruising running back type thing. That's kind of like, old school running back, right up the middle, hit the hole hard, that sort of thing. And that relies heavily upon like your centers and your guards, of course. So I think that with that being said, Ben Powers and Ben Cleveland, I love the competition that they're having. I think that eventually, like Ingraven said, Ben Cleveland will eventually get the job. And I'm not opposed to that at all. I like what I've seen from both of them so far. But I mean, as long as this O-line, man, the O-line is like, who said this? Samuel L. Jackson. He's definitely right about that because without this O-line, nothing on our offense is going to work at all. Right. Nothing. And you know how much execution or how important execution is to the Ravens offense with all the pre-snap motion and everything that we like to call, execution is everything. So, and execution starts from the offensive line. So you're absolutely right there, Samuel L. Jackson. We appreciate you for chiming in there. Let's go ahead and pull up the super chat donation. This one's coming from our guy King.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, man. Shout out to you. He says, shout out to you guys. I think AP would be a beast with us. AP?
He's, he got experience. He got good experience, and he's obviously done well. He's been a historic runner, and he got some really nice jump cuts. So AP, has he been in this type of offense before? I don't really think so, but AP with just his experience in the game, he could be. He could. I got to look at his film from last year to see how he was looking last year because I don't remember. What did he play for the Lions, right?
Was it the Lions?
Was that last year or the year before last?
I know he was in the Lions.
Can't remember. He was, definitely was.
Yeah, we had to see what he got.
So many teams.
Let's see. Our guy Boz chimes in and says, like the video. Yeah, make sure you go ahead and like that video, guys. If you're just coming in here, make sure you like the video. And if you're enjoying the content tonight, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. We appreciate you guys. This is episode 68 of the Purple Rain podcast. We got a guy, Deshaun91, chiming in. Says, I think Le'Veon Bell is the best fit because of his pass catching. Plus, he was the best back in the NFL last time he was in a run-heavy offense.
I'm torn on this because when he was really good, the whole Steelers offensive line, all pros and Pro Bowlers. I'm not trying to take away what from Le'Veon did, but I don't really see it. I didn't see anything with the Chiefs. I know it didn't work. I'm not a big fan of Le'Veon to Baltimore. That's me.
Le'Veon is nice. He's not nice for the Ravens though. He's a good running back, but his style is not a fit for what Ravens do at all. He's patient. He's a very patient runner. They hand the ball off to him. He waits for the hole to open up, and then he'll hit it. But with Ravens, you got to be quick, man. Like Sutton was just talking about with how complex this offense and how complex the run game is, you need the offensive line to be on point. But the running backs, they got to be on point too, and you got to be a really quick decision maker. So Le'Veon Bell, he wouldn't be a good fit for the Ravens. Pass catcher, yes, but as a runner, no, his style.
And to think, I remember when he was a free agent, I listened to his rap album thinking he was going to say he was signing with the Ravens a couple years ago. I thought it was going to happen. That's an hour I didn't have in my life. I can't get back now.
Oh, yes.
Yep. So, all right, guys. So let's talk a little bit about Tyler Huntley. Let's talk about what he did.
Cool with it. I'm cool.
Yeah, in the last preseason game, going off for 5 touchdowns. Was it 5 touchdowns?
5.
A Huntley 5, right? Not a Jackson 5, a Huntley 5. That was crazy to see. What did you guys really take from that Tyler Huntley performance? Do you think that other teams might be scouting him out, trying to get him up off the Ravens, or what do you think is going on there?
I don't think he'll be on the Ravens next year. This year, yes, but I don't think he'll be back with the Ravens after this year because the film is out. He showed little flashes last year too in his rookie year, undrafted rookie free agent, no offseason, and he showed flashes there. But now it's really out there. And this guy, everybody knows, as much as you hear media and analysts and all that talk about Lamar, and they say all these little wild takes and all that, players know who Lamar is. Players know what Lamar can do. And if a team has an opportunity to get a Lamar 2.0, get Tyler Huntley, they're going to take it, especially if they got quarterback problems and whatnot. They don't know who their guy is going to be. Man, they better jump on that. And I think that it would be bittersweet, though, because Tyler Huntley, man, we love that dude. He's from South Florida, too. But he just been killing it, man. And you want to have somebody as Lamar's backup. You want the best player possible as Lamar's backup. And he's like a perfect backup for Lamar Jackson. But then at the same time, you want them to go off and be able to do their own thing and be able to get an opportunity to start one day, especially in the quarterback position. So I think this year, he ain't going nowhere this year. But I think next year, I think that'll be a wrap.
Pain. I was actually super impressed with him. I mean, the throws he was making, Deion Kane had to come down with 2 of them. That's a different story. I was rooting for Kane. But also Benjamin Victor looked very, very, very good. I don't know if we do let him go. I don't think he'll clear waivers. I think he will get picked up by another team. But for Huntley, I mean, the touchdown throw he made to Eric Tomlinson, rolling out, throwing it cross body, that was nasty. That was super nasty. And it's all around. I mean, I saw people say he could start for Washington football team. I mean, him or Fitzpatrick, I'm taking him right now.
Yeah.
So there's a ton of teams that could use a Tyler Huntley. Unfortunately, I just hope he's here as a backup a couple more years. Our guy
Ramey says someone is going to try to start a replica Ravens offense with Tyler Huntley. Hey man, the Ravens they took the league by storm with that whole Lamar Jackson led offense a couple of years ago. I'm sure there's other teams who still, are in the market for a quarterback who would be down to try something like that. And Tyler Huntley, he's shown that when Lamar comes out of the game and he comes in, not much changes. Not much changes at all. The game speed doesn't really change that much. You can tell it's not overwhelming for him. You can tell he definitely deserves that QB2 role over Trace McSorley for sure. And as somebody said in the chat actually here too, let me bring it up. Darius the official, my guy, says Tyler was throwing dimes. He was really throwing dimes out there, man. Like we're talking like taking 3-step drops, going through his reads, progressions, and just delivering dimes, strikes. Like, and you just love to see stuff like that. You love to see it. It gives you that reassurance, to where if anything ever were to happen to Lamar, just like how, in the Bills game when Lamar went down and Tyler Huntley had to step in. Tyler Huntley didn't do all that bad. He did get us downfield. And Mark Andrews, of course, didn't haul in that touchdown, but yeah. Memories, right? Yeah, Tyler Huntley, man, we're definitely very, very lucky to have him in Baltimore backing up Lamar Jackson. Let's see what else you guys are saying here about Tyler Huntley. Samuel L. Jackson says, I agree with Ingraven. There will be an offer that the Ravens cannot refuse for Tyler.
If we got a 5th-round pick for a kicker, what could we get for Tyler Huntley?
Huntley,
EDC
exactly.
would work his magic.
Fleecing somebody. We got Kimberly Harmon in the house. Says, what's up, everybody? What's up, Kimberly? How you doing tonight? Appreciate you for joining the stream. So let's see. Snipe Gang Douglas says, you guys think Josh Oliver is making the team?
For sure.
I think so.
Yeah. Oliver, definitely balling out. Let's see.
With Oliver making the team, though, it kind of hurts me because that means Tomlinson won't. I'm a big Eric Tomlinson guy.
Now, wait. I don't think it means that, though. Especially with Nick Boyle.
Don't give me hope. Don't give me hope.
Because for real, I think what they're gonna do, Oliver makes it from jump, and obviously Andrews is the other one that makes it, but Nick Boyle does too. But Nick Boyle, since he's not ready yet, I think he makes it. But then they put him on IR, so he misses 3 games. Because when Harbaugh said, "Oh yeah, I don't expect him to play in the week 1 game." With Harbaugh injury talk, if he expects somebody to miss 1 game, they're probably gonna miss 3. So with I think they cut Eric Tomlinson, and then they end up bringing him back after they put Nick Boyle on injury reserve. That's what I think. So I think he'll be back, man, depending on Nick Boyle.
Okay. I mean, speaking of Nick Boyle and other guys who won't be ready for week 1, Jimmy Smith also won't be ready for week 1 as well. Yeah. The injuries are piling up, guys. The injuries are piling up. I hate to say it, and I've said it a couple times here on the show. It really sucks that it's happening during this time because I know guys aren't going 100% yet. We haven't even started going 100% yet. Haven't even gone full go. And, we're already losing guys left and right. And it's just, it sucks, but we're stumbling into the season. And I think once we, get our feet wet under us, during the season, maybe 3-4 games, and we'll start to hit our stride. We'll be good, guys. By the way, Ramey says, in DaCosta, we trust. Yeah, absolutely. We're definitely going to flip something. Yeah. We're gonna make a good flip for Tyler Huntley and any other guys that we have too.
Jake Verity.
Let's see. Josh Price says, I was at the game Saturday. It was so cool seeing how hyped the team was when Tyler was balling out. Yeah, cool, you love to see that too. You love to see that. I know Tyler Huntley and Lamar Jackson actually used to play against each other in high school. I think Tyler Huntley actually beat Lamar Jackson's team at one point. Yeah. You know the backstory on that, Ingraven?
I mean, that's it. Tyler Huntley. Lamar was talking about it the other day too. He said it was frustrating. He said it was always frustrating going against Tyler Huntley, man. But again, I think next year it's gonna get even more frustrating because y'all are gonna be getting paid for it because y'all are gonna be playing against each other as professionals. But we'll see.
We will see. By the way, we have about 87 and 90 people watching live right now. Big shout out to you guys. Thank you guys so much. Make sure you go ahead and like the video. Go ahead and hit that like button for us. And if you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. Because like I said before, the season's right around the corner, literally only a couple weeks away. And we are planning to have so much Ravens content coming out for you guys. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and stay locked in for more Ravens content, for more Purple Rain. Also, make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe to Ingravenvids as well if you're not already. Make sure you go to Ingravenvids on YouTube. And like I said before, just Google them. You'll find them everywhere.
Now, something that you were just talking about real quick was about all the injuries piling up. And it has been a lot of injuries. Jimmy Smith, he's still out. Marlon Humphrey, I think he'll be fine by week 1. But Hollywood's been out, but he's back. He came back to practice today. Boykin has been out. Deion Kane, Benjamin Victor both got banged up in the last game. Of course, J.K. Dobbins, and the list goes on. But the one good thing about all the injuries that not all of them, but the majority of the injuries that the Ravens have had is that most of them have not been season-ending. Of course, there's L.J. Fort and J.K. Dobbins. Those guys are unfortunately out for the year. But with everybody else, they'll be back. Everybody should be back within the next month and change at the most. So that's one like silver lining with all the injuries and whatnot.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. I hope those only 2 season enders. I mean, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate just this early that like we're dealing with it. Yeah. And I saw a couple people say it feels like the Niners of last year, and it does. But let's just hope that this is it. I mean, injuries, you can't really avoid them, but there's always that one team that gets hit with the bug. I just really hope it's not us this year. I
mean, as Ravens fans, we're used to like adversity and stuff like this happening to the team. Like maybe not so early in the season or even before the season starts, but we have our lows. Like remember last year when we had the COVID outbreak? You know, we've been through things before.
Times.
We've been through things before. Is my point here. And I think that we'll definitely get through this for sure. Like I said, around like week 3, week 4, once we start hitting our stride, I think the injuries won't be as prevalent. That's fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. That's the hope. But yeah, so far it's been kind of rough. So let's see what else you guys have in here for us, and then we're gonna go ahead and transition to our question segment of the night.
Can we talk about the game real quick? After
what up, PRP?
Talk about like the game.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right, cool.
Yeah, what up, PRP? What's up, Gerald? We appreciate you for coming through and joining the stream. He also sends a super chat donation. We appreciate you so much, man. Big Gerald pulling up from the logo. Per usual, we appreciate you. We appreciate you, Gerald. Says, we'll miss my boy J.K. Dobbins, but our running game is still very strong. Yeah, Gerald, we're just talking about that at length, man. We believe in Gus. All aboard the Gus bus, man.
Gus we trust.
Yeah, and Gus we trust.
And Gus we trust.
Yeah. 5 yards of carry. I mean, you can't beat that, man. He falls forward. He can catch out of the backfield. He can pass. He's good. He's good, man.
Whoa,
thank you so much for your super chat donation, Joe. We do have another one rolling in from our guy, Ho Dog.
Our guy.
Big shout out to you, Ho Dog, man. We appreciate you.
We love you. We
appreciate you, man. You guys just pulling up from half court tonight. We appreciate y'all so much. So much. All right.
Ho Dog and Gerald.
Ho Dog and Gerald,
Two
man.
Goats, man.
Two goats.
Two
Certified Purple Rain pioneers, man. We appreciate you guys so much.
Good stuff.
Yeah, man. All right. So you wanted to talk about the game, right? Simply.
Yeah. I mean, just the good parts, obviously the Prochet catch, the touchdown, and then the Tylan Wallace touchdown too. I'm a little confused how Tylan Wallace got a flag and James Prochet didn't. I didn't know folding your arms is I don't know. Maybe I'm watching the game wrong, but it was good to see those guys get some action. We've been hearing about Prochet do it in camp all off season. Right. Seeing him doing it in game, like that's one of the few times a Ravens receiver had my jaw just like I couldn't believe a 50-50 ball and we caught it. That's something else.
Couldn't believe a 50-50 ball and we threw it.
Yeah.
We don't get those. But
that too.
Yeah, that was nice, man. Yeah, like you said, we've been hearing so much about him and Cam Prochet catching everything. He beating all the corners. He doing this, doing that. But we hadn't seen anything in the game. So it was really nice. It was nice to see. That's what I love the most, man. It was nice to see Prochet used for what they drafted him for what he specialized for in college. That's been the biggest problem with the offense, man. Them not using guys for what they're good at. We finally got to see that with Prochet. Hopefully in Las Vegas, we get to continue seeing that with everybody, man.
Yeah. It only took a year. It took a year.
Yeah, man. Thanks. Speaking of James Prochet as well, on that touchdown that he had, I mean, as we all know, his helmet did come off, but he did kind of hit the DB with the stare down afterwards. And, well deserved. And I love to see that sort of stuff. Hopefully it doesn't draw flags in the regular season because, they're getting softer with that too. The no fun league, as we all know. But I love that energy, that attitude out of James Prochet. Just kind of stepping up and being that dog. I mean, showing that dog mentality, and hopefully we can see more of him in the regular season. Because I definitely think he can be a strong asset for this team for sure. Tylan Wallace, I was definitely impressed with his touchdown catch as well. Kind of adjusting to the ball, getting down low, and just kind of coming down with it. That was very impressive too. But I think one of my favorite highlights from that game the other day was early in the game when Lamar was still playing. He had that pass to Mark Andrews outside the numbers.
He can't throw them though. He can't do it.
What I mean,
he can't do it.
According to the internet,
that was Tyler Huntley. That wasn't Lamar Jackson. That wasn't him.
Right. Obviously. Yeah. So I don't know. That was my favorite play of the night, man, because it was 5 wide, empty backfield. Lamar goes through his reads and he finds Mark Andrews open, his favorite target, and just throws a strike. Throws a strike out there. It didn't, hang out. The ball didn't hang out in the air too long or anything like that. Give anybody a chance to make a big play on it or anything like that. It was a strike, and you love to see that. So let's see. We have another super chat donation. This one coming in from Cam UI, pronounced Cam Wee. Cam Wee. Okay, I got you. It says, Ingraven, my boy, what did we talk about? 2 downhill killers and Williams 220 pounds and Gus 235. Devin on the gadget plays will be okay. Trust. Thank you so much for your super chat donation. Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, downhill killers, man. I
didn't know he was 220 pounds. Wow.
Yeah,
that's a big boy, man.
Defenses beware.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. And something that he brought up in that super chat was Devin Duvernay. Yeah, we were talking about it earlier. Especially with JK going down. Right now it's Gus Edwards, Tyson Williams, and there's a lot of question marks for who the third running back is going to be, whether it's McCrary, whether it's Justice Hill, if he's even healthy, if they bring in somebody, whatever it may be. But he was saying, and then I was talking to somebody else who said the same thing too, that with Devin Duvernay, it's a possibility that he gets used even more as a gadget player. And that's so one of his biggest comparisons, especially when people watched him last year, was Deebo Samuel from the 49ers. And we know that the way that they use him, they don't just use it. He is a wide receiver, but they have him lined up in the backfield. They have him lined up in the slot. They have him lined up outside. They got him lined up everywhere. Just he's a football player. That could be a possibility too with a Devin Duvernay.
Yeah. Would you guys like to see Devin Duvernay, in more of an actual receiver role and less of a gadget role? Because I feel like as a receiver, he could actually do some damage as well. That's just me. But what do you guys really think about Devin Duvernay in his role in this offense? Gadget player only, or should we actually be seeing him in a lot of different pass sets?
I would love if he was used as a wide receiver more. Last year, I always call him the jet sweep king because that was what they did with him. Just jet sweep, kick return, punt return too after they benched Prochet from being a punt returner. But I would love to see him just utilized more. Again, use guys for what they specialize in, man. Get him involved in some little screens, little bubble screens here and there. Get him some passes in the open field. He can do some stuff, man. He can go to work. But you got to give him a job first, man. So
we heard about his speed coming out of college, and we saw it on that kick return when he had a touchdown. Where is get him in open field? Let's see what he can do. And when he was in open field, when he had a jet sweep, when he had the one play against the Bengals, took her for 40, 50 yards. We saw what that speed kills.
Right.
Get him the ball more. He's a playmaker.
Yeah. Absolutely. So guys, let's go ahead and just talk about the roster moves that the Ravens made today, because as we know, by 4 p.m. Tuesday, that 53 has to be finalized. So they're getting ready to do that. And they made a couple moves today as follows. So obviously they put J.K. Dobbins on season-ending injured reserve. We know that. Also released wide receiver Devin Gray and also CAOC Mariner, both of those guys wide receivers, and also offensive lineman Michael Schofield as well. So what did you guys think about the roster moves that the Ravens made today, getting rid of Devin Gray, Mariner, and Schofield?
No shockers yet. No surprises yet. These so far, every move has been expected. So no surprises yet. Tomorrow is the real day.
Yeah.
Right.
Find out.
We will.
I mean, any bold predictions? Like bold?
Anthony Levine gets cut.
Ooh.
We did talk about that last. I have either him or
We
Trace.
did, yeah.
Depending what's going with Trace. I mean,
You said Trace. Yeah,
like
you did say
they're
Trace.
talking like he will, but I wouldn't be surprised. Kenji, what's his last name?
Bahar, yeah.
Yeah, him on the practice squad. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened too. But
I think if Trace gets cut, I think he'll clear waivers, and I think they will bring him back to the practice squad. I don't think they'll carry 3.
Really?
I don't. I think they'll keep one on practice. Well, obviously Tyler Huntley ain't going nowhere. But I think they'll keep Trace McSorley on practice squad. Cause I really do think he would clear if they cut him, if they waived him or whatnot. So
nobody would pick him up.
I don't think so.
He's not a starter. It's not like
he hasn't really shown a lot. I mean, you know,
I was at the Saints game, and like I said, he just looked like he had the number 2 position. He wasn't playing with that fight. I'm like, you're still fighting for quarterback too. I mean, I kind of lost a little bit of that joy and love I had for, Trace McSorley besides the memes, but I wouldn't be surprised if. And we love stashing players, like K-Dog says. King's at it.
So let's see. Yeah, Raven's going to stash McSorley. We do have over 100 people watching live right now. Big shout out to all of you guys. We appreciate you guys so much for joining the stream tonight. Make sure you guys go ahead and like the video, and subscribe to the channel if you are new here. Again, this is episode 68 of the Purple Rain Podcast. If you've never been a part of the Purple Rain Podcast, welcome to the Rain Gang, the hashtag Rain Gang. You can also find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts as well. Real quick, we have a hot take here from Oscar Lilienthal. Thank you so much for joining the show. Says bold would be Boykin. Hope it doesn't happen. You guys think Boykin is locked to make the roster?
No, I don't.
No.
I think he could be stashed, IR stash.
I didn't think of that.
Because that hamstring injury, he's just been out. He hasn't played in any preseason games. He hasn't practiced in forever. And Ravens have got to get a small sample size of life without Boykin. So I think they could act on that and put him on injury reserve.
Hey, man. I mean, Boykin, I just don't know about him, man. I've said it here on the Purple Rain Podcast a couple times before. I feel like he kind of gets a bad rap because if you look at like his numbers, he is one of the more productive receivers on the Ravens over the past, last year he was top 3 and catches or something like that when in a receiving course. So
he turned it on.
And he had touchdowns too. So and then the offseason, everybody just kind of like craps on him and no one likes him. What do we call him on last week's episode, Alex? Miles the Mystery Boykin. We just don't know. We just never know with Miles Boykin. Yeah, and we don't know if he's gonna make the team either. So we'll see. We will see. All right. So going ahead and moving on from that, I think now we can actually go ahead and get into our question segment for the night, which is our favorite segment of me and Simply. Basically, this is where you guys can ask us any question that you would like, whether it be about Ravens football, whether it be about other teams in football, other sports. If it's not about sports, it's about music, life,
it's fantasy
football, anything. You can ask us about anything here on the Rain Gang Q&A segment. We're going to go ahead and kick it off here with who's got our first question? Garnett West with our first question. What did I miss? Okay, Garnett. So you missed us talking about J.K. Dobbins. You missed us talking about Tyler Huntley balling out. We talked about the roster moves that we made and everything like that. So make sure you just go ahead and rewind so you can catch up on that. Also, Garnett, hashtag replay game. Also, in Gus we trust. Just know that. All right, so let's see. We do have before we get into any questions, we have a super chat donation coming from Jordan Yates. Thank you so much, Jordan. We appreciate you. Says, I want to see Huntley go to the Panthers or the Washington football team next year.
I agree.
It depends what Darnold does. I would like Washington football team, with Curtis Samuel, Scary Terry, Antonio Gibson, Logan Thomas. I would love to see him on that offense. Okay. That'd be dirty.
That'd be dope. That would be dope. Yeah. I really just want to see Tyler Huntley get a shot. I mean, he deserves it. I feel like he's balled out. He deserves it for sure. But yeah, going ahead and moving on from that one. Thank you so much for your super chat donation. Travis Dow is going to come in with our first question here. It says, thoughts on the Donda album from Kanye West that just dropped? I mean, it was what, 26 or 27 tracks, right?
Yeah.
A long album. I didn't even get to get through the whole thing yet. I listened about half. It's pretty good.
I loved every minute of it.
Okay. And real quick, I just got a little PSA about Donda. Not listening to Kanye West, it doesn't make you progressive, edgy, or even cool. So anybody that's like, oh man, I don't want to hear that, you're not extra cool. You don't get extra cool points because of that.
Thank you.
I wonder who said that.
Right. I wonder who said that. That's your boy. That's me on Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter at Sutton Death, man. Speaking my mind, man. But that's how I feel. I feel like people, it's like a trend to not like Kanye, you know, and that kind of like, you know, it's weird to me.
Like Lamar.
Yeah, you know, narratives. I hate them. All right, let's see. Moving on here. Esco City G says favorite basketball player. For me, favorite basketball player of all time, it's got to be Kobe. If we're talking about current, I'm probably gonna go with Kyrie Irving. Just because I'm a fiend for some good handles, man. I love some good handles, man. Kyrie Irving has the best handles in the league, arguably. So for my money, it's Kyrie. All time, Kobe. What about you guys?
My all time was Chris Webber. All time.
Really?
Chris Webber from the Bullets, from the Kings. Yep, that was my guy, man.
But you know, he called a timeout without having any timeouts left. Lost his team the game.
Come on.
What that was that? What, Michigan? Not Michigan. Was it Michigan?
Yeah.
Where was it at? I think it was, yeah.
Fab Five.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Michigan. Yeah.
Right now, for me, though, John Morant, favorite basketball player right now.
Okay. John Morant. I like that. One of the young guns. All right, let's see. Next question is coming from Tyler. Tyler says, what do you guys think of Manchester United? I'll let you take the reins.
They're looking very
good right there, man.
Oh man, they got Ronaldo back. They're looking very good. I mean, listen, my team literally is at the bottom of the table. So soccer right now and me, we aren't in a good relationship. I'll just be honest. It's not good.
Oh yeah. Y'all follow him on Twitter. If you do, you have seen the tweets. So simply going off about that side of the team. I said, man, you get me scared for him.
Right.
Oh, it's bad.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see. We got our next question here from FinSanity5. Thank you so much for joining the stream tonight. It's fantasy football sleepers. Have you guys done any fantasy drafts just yet? I know our league is still pending. We're still filling up the spots.
We're full.
We're full now. Oh, we're full. Okay, bet. Yeah, cool. So draft will be soon. And very soon. But I've done 1 or 2 fantasy drafts so far already. One of my sleepers. Who do I have? I like Jamar Chase. I have Jamar Chase on my roster. I had him. He's kind of like deep down there. I don't know how well I'm gonna, or how much return on investment I'm gonna get off of him. But who are you guys' early fantasy sleepers?
I would stay with that same team and go Joe Burrow. Reason being because I would expect the Bengals to be down in a lot of games, so that would force them to have to pass the ball more. So them points will go up. So I will go Joe Burrow.
Yeah. I know nobody's picking up Jamar Chase right now either because of all the drops and everything like that he's had in training camp and, a couple preseason games. But listen, I'm telling you, I feel like Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase will get that chemistry together, and that's going to be a special connection. What about you, Alex?
I mean, I had one draft and one pick I'm really happy I got was Laviska Shenault from the Jaguars because they use him everywhere and anywhere. And also I picked up Sammy Watkins because week 1 Sammy. You know what he does. I'm going to start him the first week, and then I'll be good.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Going ahead, moving on to our next question here.
Also Darnell Mooney from the Bears. I forgot. Darnell Mooney.
Okay. Ramey says fantasy sleepers Gusto. I mean, that's not a bad take right there. I mean, Gus Edwards, his stock is rising in fantasy. I would definitely pick him up. All right, let's see. Antoine Knox says, hit the like button, people. Yeah, hit that like button. Appreciate you, Antoine. Dwas says, who is your favorite NFL referee at Alex?
Let's pose to everybody. I mean, I know who my favorite isn't. That's John Hussey. I don't know if you remember the Chiefs game last year. Terrible game. Terrible officiated game. But favorite, I don't have one. I hate them all equally.
That's good.
I would say I don't have a favorite either. I don't think I have a favorite. I mean,
gosh.
You Ingraven? Yeah.
Nah, I can't think of anybody name right now, man. But just whoever gonna call it down the middle. So that will probably be none of them then.
Yep.
Yeah, right. All right, let's see. Next question is coming from our guy Jabari Cruz Ellis. Thank you so much, man. Says, what do y'all think will be the surprise team in the NFL this year?
With all the legal stuff, depending on how everything goes, and you know what, this is not even contingent on if the trade even happens or not. I would say the Dolphins. If they added Deshaun Watson and he can play, now I'm not condoning if anything happened, we don't even know. But if Deshaun Watson, minus all the off the field stuff, if Deshaun Watson does go to the Dolphins, I think that makes that team so much better. But even without him, I think that team is a sleeper team. They were in the playoffs for a little bit last year. Then they end up getting out. But I would say Miami.
Okay.
Surprise team for me, depending how early Justin Fields starts, I could say the Bears. I mean, I'm liking what I've seen from him. I mean, they got the weapons. The defense is solid, but it's just when will they cut the leash on Dalton compared to Fields? But if Fields starts at the right time, I'm going to say the Bears.
Okay. For me, I mean, this may not seem like it's such a surprise because this team is normally at least decent or good. I'm going to say the Rams. The Rams have been, kind of held back for a while. And, a lot of people think it's because Jared Goff, including myself. And now they have Matthew Stafford. Yeah, see Alex over there. And now they have Matthew Stafford, man. And, I feel like he is going to be the key to that puzzle. He can actually make something happen when the pocket breaks down, when, there's muddy waters and things don't always go according to plan. He can actually extend the play, make things happen. He's a veteran. He knows how to read defenses very well. So you just had to plug him into the right system, Now, am I saying that they're going to win a Super Bowl? Not sure. But do I think that they can come out the NFC? It's very possible. It's very possible. So if I had to say a surprise team in the NFL this year, I'd probably say the Rams. And maybe like the 49ers too. I feel like the 49ers will be really good this year. Them and the Cardinals.
Trey Lance or Jimmy G? Who's that quarterback?
Man, it's a tough one. I would love to see Trey Lance at quarterback for them, but I know it's going to be Jimmy G from week one for sure. Trey Lance has not had, the experience, nearly enough experience, to just be handed the keys to the franchise so soon. So it's definitely going to be Jimmy G. What about you, though? What do you think?
I think Jimmy G, and then until he gets hurt or just starts playing bad, then Trey Lance will come in.
Let's see. All right. We have another super chat donation coming in from Oscar Lilienthal. Says #1 Carter fan. # shout out to Carter.
Big shout out.
Appreciate it.
Big shout out to Carter. Big shout out to Carter. All right. And thank you so much for your donation. All right. We'll take a couple more questions from you guys here. We already talked about this earlier. Kyle Reeves, Todd Gurley, a good move for y'all, yes or no? We're kind of split on that. I know Alex kind of wants Gurley to come to Baltimore for obvious reasons.
My heart,
his heart's in it. Yeah. Me and Ingraven, we're not, we're not so sold on that. Not so sold on that.
But I like how Kyle Reeves he did ask the question below. He said, "Todd Gurley, a good move for y'all, yes or no?" But earlier he had a statement. Well, it was actually a question, wasn't even a statement. He said, "Can we address that Todd Gurley is a bad move to the Ravens?" So he let his thoughts be known that he ain't feeling it, man.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let's see. Yeah. K-Dog says, smash that like button. Absolutely. All right. Ramey, our guy Hoodie Ramey chimes in, says, which Baltimore Ravens player would be best at the Milk Crate Challenge? I would have said J.K. Dobbins. Honestly. I mean, running back, he can be light on his feet. That makes sense, right?
I'd say Hollywood then.
Hollywood, that makes sense too.
Yes,
I like that.
Short. Yeah.
Makes sense. I like that better, actually. All right. We'll take one or two more from you guys here. K-Dog, again, smash that like button. We appreciate you, man. Our guy Hoodie Ramey says his surprise team is the Washington football team.
I got them winning the East. I have them.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, 100%.
Got you.
That's a good one.
Let's see. All right. Garnett West says, I got a Sour Patch question. Do we do a Cam Cameron scenario this year between Roman and Martin?
So are we gonna fire? If that's what get us to the Super Bowl, I'm with it, because that's what happened with Cam Cameron. He was offensive coordinator. Then they got rid of him during the season. Went to Caldwell. So if they got rid of Giro during the season and then they promoted him, then and it gets us to the Super Bowl and we win it, no problem. But I'm hoping that we don't fire Giro, because that would mean that our offense is doing bad. Or they might be a little stagnant, but we'll see, man.
Yeah. So let's see. We'll end it off with this. Two Rings Montana says, what do you think our record will be at the end of the season? So record predictions. What are we thinking?
12-5.
I'm between 11 and 13 wins.
I was thinking 11-6. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Between that.
Yeah. I feel like we might have like a low point at some point in the season, just like normal. We drop a couple games here, and then we finish the season strong. But I think 11-6 is fair. 12-5 is also very fair too. But yeah, we will go ahead and leave it at that. Yeah, win the division games. But we're going to go ahead and leave it there for tonight, guys. We appreciate you guys for coming through to episode 68 of the Pro Brain Podcast. Big shout out to our guy Ingravenvids as well for coming through and joining us last minute for this hour-long stream, hour-long podcast. We appreciate him so much. Make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe to his YouTube channel as well. And make sure you follow him on Twitter and Instagram at Ingravenvids. Right how you see it right there on the screen.
Right there.
If you're not watching live on YouTube, or you're not watching the replay gang on YouTube, and you're watching the audio only version of this podcast, just at Ingravenvids, and you guys will be able to find him, man. All right. So with that being said, yeah, of course, man, we appreciate you. With that being said, this has been episode 68 of the Purple Rain Podcast, and I'm gonna let my guy Alex take us out.
A big shout out again to Ingravenvids joining us. Thank you. And a big shout out to everybody going back to school. I know school is starting up again. Wishing you guys the best of luck. Hopefully, great school year for you guys. But as always, thank you for coming through to the Purple Rain Podcast, episode 68. And as always, stay positive, test negative.
And most importantly, call God. We're going to catch you guys